Turning Point USA are the only people that are destroying Charlie's legacy. Nobody else. No matter how many times they try to accuse everybody else for, you're destroying his legacy. It's not what Charlie wanted, all that. They are the only ones doing it. Turning Point USA is self-destructing. They continue to lie every single day. They continue to look shady every single day. And while we were making a video yesterday, Andrew Kovette decides to come out and pretty much accuse Joe Kent of leaking the screenshot that shows, that showed Charlie Kirk changing his mind about Israel that Candace ended up leaking. Andrew Kovette comes out and says that Joe Kent was the one that leaked it to Candace. And now the entire internet is going crazy. Everybody's calling Joe Kent a traitor. People are saying Joe Kent should get locked up over this. And it's just bizarre. It's bizarre. What's crazy is that this was vital information that we needed to know about Charlie Kirk. We needed to know that he left no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause. If Candace never told us that, we'd be in a totally different position today. So this was great information, yet we're about to hear Andrew Kovette pretty much regret that it was exposed to the world. It's insane to me. These people are just, they're not real to me, because I don't know. I don't know what's happening in the world right now. I don't know why it feels upside down. I don't know why it feels backwards. The things that Turning Point USA should be mad about, they're not mad about. Instead, they care about things that are irrelevant. Who cares about who leaked the text message? What matters is what matters is what was said in the text message. That's what matters. That's what matters. Same thing. Why are you mad about Joe Kent allegedly leaking the text message, even though he didn't admit to that? Versus being mad at the fact that Joe Kent said that the FBI blocked him from further investigating into Charlie Kirk's murder. You're not mad about that, but you're mad about the text messages. Same thing when the text messages first came out, the screenshot. They were mad that Candace Owens leaked it and said it was private information. Why would she post something like that? You're more mad about that than the fact that Charlie's life was being threatened by his donors? Who cares about the source? It's crazy, but let's just get straight to it. Andrew Kovette, let you hear for yourself on what he had to say about this apparent leak that Turning Point USA is not happy about. Take it away, Mr. Kovette.
At every lead, turning over every stone. We wanted everybody that needed to know anything that we knew. Not just, and by the way, we've been accused of not being interested in the truth.
And just to remind people what this is referring to, this is after Charlie's murder, there were text messages that from a private group chat that were made public and were used to, frankly, kick off the big conspiracy theory that we've run into over and over again, which is that Israel or the Jews had Charlie murdered.
Yes. So,
which we do not believe.
But we have been accused of trying to, or we're not interested in the truth. The actual fact.
Mind you, the original leaker of all of this is Andrew Kovette. He's the one that took the screenshot. No focus is on that, though. They're focused on who he sent it to and then who that person leaked it to. Andrew Kovette was the first person. Now, I'm going to let some more play, but again, to me, this sounds like Andrew Kovette was playing both sides at one point. At one point in time, he was for the truth. Maybe. I don't know, because a lot of other shady things are around him that just don't make sense at all. But I also don't like how they always throw out there the Jews, because not every single person in Israel is a Jew. But they love to throw out there, the Jews did it, to make everybody seem like everybody's anti-Semitic. Everybody hates the Jews. Well, that's not the case at all. They know what they're doing. They're very disingenuous when they do that.
Fact of the matter is that behind the scenes, we have given everything we know to give, every single piece of information. This was one of them. I was told I could trust Joe Kent. I provided the screen grabs to Joe Kent, and I don't know what happened to them at that point. Okay, that I just want to make that very clear.
Who told Andrew Kolvet that he could trust Joe Kent? Who told Andrew Kovette that he could send it to Joe Kent? We're not talking about the Utah authorities. We're not talking about the FBI. Who told you that you should send it to the director of counterterrorism? That is a huge leap, because that means Andrew Kovette has speculations that there could have been foreign involvement. So who told you to do that? He doesn't ever like that. These are the details that I'm like, why are you leaving that out? Why are you just randomly throwing Joe Kent into the situation? How about you explain how you sent it to Joe Kent? Who told you that? Let's talk about the buildup. Or was Joe Kent just this great friend that we don't know about, and he was cool with Turning Point USA? And whoever told Andrew Kolvet to send it to Joe Kent, they was like this. Maybe he was Charlie. I don't know. But he doesn't explain why he sent it to Joe Kent, because that is a huge difference than sending it to the Utah authorities or the FBI who's actually on the case. Instead, he sent it to somebody that's in control of foreign involvement, whose job is to investigate any type of foreign involvement. Why in the world would he send it to Joe Kent?
I don't know what happened to them at that point. Okay, that I just want to make that very clear. Eventually, Joe did message me and suggest that I make those screen grabs public. I declined because those were shared privately. I didn't want to be reckless with them in the public. There could be innocent people on that group chat that would then be harmed.
I wish I had a screenshot pulled up for you guys, for the people that haven't seen it before. But the screenshot only says or shows Charlie Kirk saying, you know, the Jewish donors fit the stereotype. It's left me no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause. That's it, pretty much. And, you know, he talks about wanting to bring back Candace. There's nobody in the screenshot. There's nobody in that group chat that's arguing with Charlie Kirk, that's making it seem like they may have had something to do with his murder. It's nothing like that. So for him to immediately jump to their defense when Charlie's dead is crazy and telling to me. I didn't want to leak it because it was, you know, I didn't want to expose this. I didn't want to expose that. Let's just hear what he said again.
So I direct public. I declined because those were shared privately. I didn't want to be reckless with them in the public. There could be innocent people on that group chat that would then be harmed.
One, I'm curious if this is all true, right? Joe Kent. One, why would Joe Kent ask Andrew Kovette to share it publicly? Maybe this ties to Joe Kent being blocked from the investigation. So he said, hey, Andrew Kovette, I need you to go out there and do something. I can't do nothing. Maybe. But secondly, why would Andrew Kovette decline sharing these messages publicly? Your friend is dead. Your friend is dead, and all of the Jewish donors and Zionists and Prime Minister of Israel, all of these people, after Candace was the first person that said, hey, Charlie was changing his perspective on Israel. Like, and then everybody came out, all the Zionists, all the Jewish donors, that whole thing, all of them came out. No way. Charlie never did that. That's how all of this started. And Candace said, well, here's the screenshots right here. But I'm just trying to figure out, why would he decline making that public? Because to me, that is very shady. Your friend is dead, bro. And you clearly sent it to Joe Kent, so you had some type of suspicion. But then you're like, no, I don't want to share this public. I don't want to get out in front of this. And, you know what I mean? To me, that's very shady. That's you protecting somebody, whether it's the Jewish donors, because if we just being honest, the Jewish donors is the reason why Turning Point USA exists. So in my opinion, that's what he was doing. You sent it to Joe Kent, who's in control of he is the director of counterterrorism. So he investigates any type of foreign involvement. Your donors are the foreign involvement. He didn't want to put two and two together. He didn't want nobody to come out and speculate that it had anything to do with Israel. He didn't want that, because that would completely destroy Turning Point USA. He didn't want people to connect the dots, even though here we are. Text messages were released, and that's exactly what happened. But that's what Andrew Kovette didn't want, which is crazy to me because, again, that shows that he was never a real true friend to Charlie.
So I declined this with them. I declined because those were shared privately. I didn't want to be reckless with them in the public. There could be innocent people on that group chat that would then be harmed. So I declined. But then fast forward another week or two, and they were made public. So that's what I know, is that Joe suggested that they be made public. I declined. Then they were made public. Can I 100% categorically say that he leaked them? No. But those.
I want y'all to hear that, right? Can he 100% confirm that Joe Kent leaked his text messages? No. But yet, Turning Point USA and all of their talking heads that they pay are saying Joe Kent leaked the text messages to Candace Owens. When Andrew said out his own mouth, he cannot confirm if Joe Kent leaked the text message to Candace Owens. He just knows that he sent it to Joe Kent. He declined on making it public. The message still went public. That's all he knows. But yet, we're going to see if Andrew Kovette, I can already tell you right now, Andrew Kovette is not going to come out and tell his peoples to stop lying on his word, to stop lying on his name, because Andrew Kovette never said Joe Kent leaked it to Candace. However, it's pretty much implied because he continues to bring it up.
Those are the facts. Maybe somebody on his team, maybe they got passed around, maybe somebody else leaked them. But those are the facts of the matter, and that's what I know.
Yeah, and the reason we're bringing this up, obviously, with his departure from the administration, there's a lot of debate over what it means. People have been arguing, was he a leaker? Some people have suggested he might be a criminal. He should be indicted. We're not saying that, but this has come up, and
yeah. Well, and my name's getting tossed around with.
Blake think he's slick. He throw comments out there like that to get other people to give other people ideas. Because if you really don't think he should be locked up, there's no reason to say that. There's no reason to even put it out there. Lock Joe Kent up for what? It's a text message. And that's what all the Turning Point and all of their talking heads, that's what they're doing too. That's what they're saying. Joe Kent should be arrested for leaking classified information about. It's a screenshot. That's not classified information. If anything, you can't trust Joe Kent no more, Andrew Kovette. That's pretty much it. You thought you could trust him, he exposed you. And again, we don't even know if Joe Kent was the one that leaked it. But that's it. Locking him up? That all of this is very telling to me. I don't know what's going on. It feels like the world is upside down. I can't believe they're more mad at Joe Kent for potentially leaking the truth on something we needed to know versus the people who were actually threatening Charlie in his last days. I don't know. If I'm Erica Kirk, I think I'm more worried about, or I care more about the people that were actually threatening Charlie. I care about the people that came out to Charlie's defense and said he never said that. He always loved Israel when they were on the same text chain or group chat. They were on there and they were claiming he never changed his views. That's who I'd be pissed about. Not no freaking Joe Kent. Thank you, Joe Kent, actually. Thank you, Candace, for bringing it to my attention.
This as if I did something untoward. No, I don't regret any of it. I regret that they were leaked. I was told that I could trust them. I told that it was private and it would be guarded just to look into any possible leads. And by the way, we did that with a bunch of different things because we want the truth to come out. So we're not blocking anything. We don't even care if the answer is something that is.
He just contradicted himself. I know I keep pausing it. I'm sorry. Y'all know I like to dissect everything. If you don't like it, I might not be the person for you. But he just contradicted himself. He said he regrets it being leaked, but yet they're seeking the truth. Brother, you didn't even want the messages to go out. What are you talking about? Seeking the truth. You regret the truth being revealed. And look at his smirk on his face, bro. I'm sick of these folks.
Really, really terrible. Okay. Bunch of different things because we want the truth to come out. So we're not blocking anything. We don't even care if the answer is something that is really, really terrible. Okay. We want the truth. We want justice. And we believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. We believe that they got their guy. We have additional questions. But guess what? It was an egregious breach. Whoever shared that screen grab publicly, it was an egregious breach. And obviously, we're not happy about it.
Thought you wanted the truth. That screenshot only revealed the truth. But it was an egregious breach, and we're not happy about it. And we want a punishment. We want some type of punishment to that person. Even though, again, the screenshot doesn't reveal anything besides Charlie Kirk views changing on Israel. That's it. It doesn't put anybody in jeopardy. It doesn't put anybody in harm's way. However, it does when those same people come out and lie and say Charlie Kirk never had a change of heart on Israel. That's a huge issue. When they were on the text chain where he said he is changing his perspective, he is turning his back, he is walking away. Now we have a problem.
But can't put it back together again. Can't put the paste back in the tube, as they say. And so, again, I just want to be very clear. I don't know who ultimately shared that publicly. But the facts are, Joe Kent was one of the people that had it.
See, you got to pay attention to his tactics. He said very, very quickly, I don't know who leaked it, right? That is the truth. But every other person out on the internet right now is saying Joe Kent was the one that leaked it to Candace, that started the conspiracy. But he just said multiple times he doesn't know. But then he'll go right back into all I can say is Joe Kent had it. And I declined. And next thing you know, Candace had it. I'm not saying Joe Kent sent it to Candace. They know what they're doing, bro.
Very, very small group of people. Maybe one of his team members, whatever. But he did suggest that it was shared publicly. We declined because Charlie had every opportunity to say
Who is we? Who is we? Who is we decline? So other people knew you took the screenshot? Other people had the screenshot? Because who is we? Joe Kent asked to make it to post the screenshot publicly, and we declined. So Andrew Kovette told somebody else about the screenshot, or somebody else had the screenshot, or somebody else knew of it. They be snitching on themselves.
Publicly, what he just very, very, very small group of people, maybe one of his team members, whatever. But he did suggest that it was shared publicly. We declined because Charlie had every opportunity to say publicly what he believed. He did not say that publicly. And
Andrew Kovette, Charlie's dead, bro. They finna piss me off. Charlie's dead. How was Charlie gonna come out and say publicly, they left me no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause? How was Charlie gonna come out and say that publicly? He's dead. What are you talking about? Yeah, that's on Charlie. He's a grown man. He can speak for himself. He sent it the night before. You tell me, Andrew Kovette, when was Charlie going to have time to come out and tell the world that he was changing his views on Israel? Man, bro.
So far be it from me to put words in, but it was shared publicly. We declined because Charlie had every opportunity to say publicly what he believed. He did not say that publicly. And so far be it from me to put words in his mouth, okay? That was something that was private. So we wanted to keep it private. And I think that's being in keeping with being a good friend, okay? And just preserving somebody's trust.
Don't you dare. Being a good friend? Really? Being a good friend? Dog, look, listen. If anything ever happens to me, be a Candace for me. Okay? Be a Candace for me. To anybody that really know me, be a Candace for me. Don't be an Andrew Kolvet. Don't be an Erica. Don't be any of them. Be a Candace for me. Ride or die for me. Because if I got into a situation and I end up losing my life, and you got text messages to show that I was being threatened, but you don't want to, put yourself on Front Street and air out to the public that I was really going through something? You wanted to keep it private? And then you want my enemies to come and speak for me? And my enemies come out and say, nah, man, he was good, man. when I was getting threatened by my enemies, and you have the text message, but you choose not to come out with it. And Andrew Kovette on here talking about I wanted to be a good friend. Come on, bro. These folks is sick. The more I follow this case, is sick.
In their privacy. So now so we wanted to keep it private. And I think that's being in keeping with being a good friend, okay? It's preserving somebody's trust in their privacy. So now everybody knows. Yes, Joe Kent had it. Yes, he did suggest leaking it. Can't prove that he was the one. But those are the facts, because there's been a lot of noise made about this in the past, whether, you know, in the recent week, about allegations of leaking and things like that. I got nothing. I don't know anything other than that piece of the puzzle. Okay, that's all I know. And I'm not going to recklessly tarnish somebody's reputation if I don't have all the facts. But now that my name's being brought up into it, I wanted to address it.
So you can see, again, he said it many times that he doesn't know if Joe Kent is the true leaker, even though Andrew Kovette is the leaker. They don't want to be mad about that. But he even admits Joe Kent, he doesn't know if Joe Kent's the true leaker. But he continues to say, yeah, I don't know. All I'm saying is Joe Kent had it. Joe Kent had it. And then now everybody knows that Candace was the one that exposed it and got the Israel and the Jewish donors, got everybody with their panties in a bunch. I'm just saying, Joe Kent was the first person to have it. He's implying that Joe Kent is the leaker. They think they slick. They little smirky looks, bro. Just look at them. Can't stand them. I don't know. These people, they portrayed Charlie. These were none of Charlie's real friends. He had no idea. He was betrayed by all of them. It's sickening. He was on a fake. He lied about his flight plan. We'll have another video about that. He lied about the flight that he was on. It's getting crazy. And I'm getting worked up. I'm standing up making this video. But y'all drop in the comments on what y'all think about this whole situation. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I will see y'all on the next one.